Hello, hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Welcome to our pre-recorded live stream session today. We have a really exciting event here at the Sewing Workshop this week where we have a group with us making the Fractured Jackets here in Topeka, Kansas. So we have a group with us here that's joining us in our Sewing Workshop studio here in Topeka, and we're also going to be sewing at a venue in North Topeka, just 5 minutes up the road from our studio. So our team is here supporting them live this week. So we are not joining you live, but I wanted to show you guys what we are going to be working on this week. So the Fractured Jacket concept is what I like to call the brainchild of kind of Linda and Kathy. And the origins of that class came from Kathy bringing in things, Linda bringing in things. And so you're going to see all kinds of fractured jacket looks. This fractured jacket term is something that's really been dubbed here at the Sewing Workshop. It's a very innovative technique, and it's turned into lots of different variations and versions of it. The ones you see behind me, we started out using the London shirt and the Chicago jacket, but we learned very quickly that we did not have to only use the London shirt and the Chicago jacket. You can use whatever pattern you want, and there are a variety of techniques that you can use to make your own version of a fractured jacket. It doesn't have to be a jacket. It can be a shirt. It can be a dress. It can be a vest. And you can choose what pattern works for you. But let's start out by showing some fractured jackets that I have here for you guys to show. The very first fractured jacket that we recorded for a class is called the Boro-inspired London shirt. So in this class, Linda actually teaches you how to do this technique for your fractured jacket. We took the London shirt pattern, and we have 2 layers of fabric here. So we have a base layer, and then the second layer is appliqued on, and then it has this hand-stitched Boro design throughout to secure those applique patches on. So in this class, the first fractured jacket class, Linda actually shows you how to do this garment and how to use this technique. We also have another version of an applique. This is the Chicago jacket. And with the Chicago jacket, we have applique. So again, we have 2 layers of fabric with hand stitching throughout this garment to secure these applique pieces into place. This one actually is being featured in threads. Quite a few of them are actually, but I think this one might be on the cover. So stay tuned for that as that issue comes out. So again, here we first really started out with this applique technique. And then it really took on lots of different forms. From there, we learned that you could do reverse applique. So reverse applique, again, has 2 layers of fabric. So here we have this white wool as the base layer and a black silk. Now this is the London shirt as a jacket. And here for closure for the London shirt, we've used snap tape. Let me show you guys another version of reverse applique, the second technique for a fractured jacket. And here we have more of a tone-on-tone look where we've paired this Chicago jacket with a nice linen as well as a similar color of a more textured fabric to reveal underneath for reverse applique. From there, we took on a third technique, and this is called strip applique. So Kathy brought these in and actually made this from a remnant of a scarf. And she paired it with some other fabrics here in the office and turned this shirt, the London shirt, into this fantastic, colorful strip applique possibility. So the culmination of these 3 techniques, applique, strip applique, and reverse applique, are part of our fractured jacket class. We combined all of these techniques into one video. It's called the Fractured Jacket class. and you can purchase this today. If you join any of our in-person events for Fractured Jackets, the Fractured Jacket in Kansas or in Santa Fe, you actually get free access to this wonderful video. In the video, Linda, Kathy, and Samantha teach you step by step how to work through these techniques. Let me show you a couple others. Here is another wonderful version of strip applique using, again, a singular color of fabric. And this, again, is for the London shirt. So this is strip applique, and I love this garment because it's paired with these wonderful contrasting red buttons, and the serging is showing here. Is the same red contrast. Love it. Kathy is full of endless inspiration. Well, really all of them. If you're around the sewing workshop team enough, this place is inspiring. The collaboration and ingenuity of everyone's thoughts and designs, fantastic. Here's another version of a few different techniques. So this one combines a lot of techniques here. We have applique, we have reverse applique, and we have also some general hand stitching. So you can combine things and work, as you can see, with many types of fabrics. We had a great time in Santa Fe where we were able to see so many people's work. Everyone's projects were different. You're actually going to hear right now from a few Santa Fe participants, and they're going to talk to you about their Fractured Jacket projects, what technique they chose, what pattern they chose, what they loved about Santa Fe, and how they're going to make their next Fractured Jacket. Let's hear from them and take a look at some of their projects. I am so excited to introduce to you some of our Fractured Jacket in Santa Fe participants. These are some people that joined us this last February in Santa Fe, and they each worked on their own personalized Fractured Jacket. So if you're unfamiliar with the Fractured Jacket process or the Fractured Jacket class, you're going to learn about it here, and you're going to learn about it from firsthand participants in our Santa Fe class. So let's bring on our first guest, Miss Lois, and she's going to tell us about her jacket that, Lois, you are actually wearing. I love this.
Yes,
I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Actually wearing it.
Beautiful, Lois. This is amazing. And you started working on this in Santa Fe. Tell us about the technique you chose for your Fractured Jacket.
I chose the strip technique. I had seen one of the jackets at a Sew Kansas, and I fell in love with it. And I thought that the technique sounded really interesting, and I just really wanted to do it.
Had to do it. You saw Kathy's samples, and you thought, this is my chance.
Yep.
I love the fabrics you chose for it. Now tell us about your pattern.
Okay, it's the London shirt. And I chose the London shirt because A, it's probably one of my favorite sewing workshop shirts, but also because I've made so many of them that I knew that the actual construction, once I got the strip technique done, that it wasn't going to be the construction that threw me, or I had made it so many times that I knew I probably wouldn't make a mistake after I'd done all the work.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, picking something that you knew worked for you.
Right. Fit, I had the fit was all done and everything. So
yes. Now we this week are at our Fractured Jacket class in Kansas, and you were with us in Santa Fe, which was a fantastic event. Tell us your favorite part about that workshop. And you're actually joining us next year.
Yes, I am. My favorite part was not only it was a workshop where you learned the new technique and you had the expertise of the sewing workshop team around you. But the other thing I loved is that even though I had fabric and I knew what technique I wanted to do, it sort of evolves. It's the kind of thing where the creativity part kind of evolves. And it was, if I got stuck on something, I had not only the members of the sewing workshop team, but the other participants. Like the other participants would walk by and go, oh, that looks great, or had you thought about this? And it was just a very sort of I know this is an overused term, but it was sort of an organic kind of thing where everybody became a part of the jacket. And the thoughts in the creation of the jacket. An example was, these are the selvages. And I had cut everything, I had cut it all off. And somebody walked by and said, geez, the colors on that selvage are really great, or that color on that strip. And they thought it was ribbon that I was going to put on, and I wasn't. So then Kathy Davis came over and said, yeah, you should use those. And then, so it was sort of, it was something where I knew what the garment would look like on me, but I didn't really know what the end result of the fabric would look like. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I love how you're mentioning the collaborative aspect of the event, getting the feedback from those around you and really interacting with everyone.
Yeah.
I love that. And I can't wait to hear what you're going to do next. So if you were to pick 2 fabrics and make another fractured jacket concept, and maybe it's more than 2, what are the fabrics you would pick and what are you going to do with it? Okay,
I actually bought the fabrics, and you're going to be surprised at one of them. One was this, I think a quincy jacket was made out of it. And what I'm going to do with it is the reverse applique. And I did a sample. I'm trying to think. I did a sample. I'm going to do a checker or a stripe. And so I'm going to do that for the main jacket. It's going to be a quincy jacket, a little longer. But this is the part where you helped me in that. I don't know if you remember this blue paisley.
Yes.
The blues match incredibly well. And I'm going to do the facings and maybe the collar. And so I'm going to kind of create that with the paisley.
That's fantastic, Lois. Yeah, I think you initially maybe bought that for a dress, but I love thinking about this for a jacket. Wow.
So
wonderful. You are the blue queen, and we love it. I couldn't wait to see it. Man, it's so great. Well, I wonder if you'll get that done before Santa Fe next year.
With everything else that's in the queue, probably not, because I also want the collaboration part of it on something like this, because it is, as I said, it's sort of a part of it is planned and part of it evolves.
It's true. So. It's true. Thank you so much, Lois. I'm sure everyone was so inspired to see what you're doing, and thank you for showing us your jacket.
Thank you. It was fun.
Let's bring on the wonderful Sherry Golden next, who was also with us in Santa Fe. Hello, Sherry.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you, Alex?
I'm good. So good to have you. So good to have you, Sherry. And I know that I've had the pleasure of seeing your finished Fractured Jacket garment in person, live at our So Kansas event. You've also sent pictures. So tell us about the technique for your jacket and why you chose this particular technique.
Okay. The jacket I made, I used the reverse applique technique. And I did because I had a piece of fabric that I've had in my stash for way too many years, waiting for that perfect project. And it turned out that I thought it would make this project very well. And it was a double layered linen. It had an embroidery design on it, which I needed to stitch all the way around and then use the applique method to open it up and let those areas fray. And so that's the technique I used. And I kind of wanted to start with something I was comfortable with. And so these other techniques that get a little more involved with things I haven't done before. So I started slow. And I made the Chicago jacket. And I made the Chicago jacket because it's a jacket that I've worked the fit out on many projects. And I love the pockets. And the fabric choices I had also were both sides show a little bit up at the top. And so I knew that it would work well for that.
Wonderful. And I love about your jacket, you kind of echoed the same sort of essence of what's already on the fabric. So you did this applique and the reverse applique turning away on existing shapes within your fabric, which is just a great way to utilize the fabric. And beautiful colors on you too.
Thank you. Thank you. I really like it. I find I'm wearing it more than I thought I would. And, it's just one of those things I grab all the time.
Yeah. So in Santa Fe, what was your favorite part about this particular event?
Well, it's interesting that my story and Lois's are very closely connected. I loved the camaraderie and the creativity in the room. So I think some of the creativity is a real stretch for me. I'm more of a technical um, creator. And so I knew what I wanted to do. But again, like Lois mentioned, people would stop by, people would look, they would have ideas. And then in my case, I was planning on hand stitching around all of these embroidered areas. And they really aren't embroidered. I guess they are jacquard, but they look, it's jacquard, so it's double layered and so forth. But as I was hand stitching around, Samantha stopped by and she said, "Oh, you need to do a different technique. It'd be a lot easier." But I didn't have the part for my sewing machine. I've never had that part. And that was free motion quilting, I guess, or free motion stitching. But somebody else that was there had that part in their sewing case. And so they loaned it to me, and the next thing I know, I'm calling the dealer to buy one because that's a really neat way to do things. And so that part of we had both lots of creative help there, and we also had technical help from each other and from the sewing workshop team. And it was just an amazing event to be part of.
Yeah. Love it, Sherry. Thank you so much. What are you going to do next? What are the fabrics that you are choosing?
Okay, so I don't have them here with me, but I have picked out 3 different greens. They're lightweight linen. One of them I think might be a midweight, and then a lightweight natural colored linen. And I'm doing a new technique that Kathy Davis has done. I don't know what she's named that technique. I call it window panes, but it's very small little squares, like 1 to 2 inch squares. And they're different, using different colors and putting it together with rows and rows of stitching. And so I'm anxious to do that one, but it definitely is a real different technique than what I did last year. But I'm excited to be going again.
Beautiful. Can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Thank you.
Next up is the one and only Rhonda Gaddy. Let's bring on Rhonda. Rhonda, you actually finished your Fractured Jacket in Santa Fe, which was not something everyone could have said. That's kind of one of the great things about this class, is that you can go at your own pace. Like Sherry, like Lois mentioned, it's collaborative, it's casual. It's also, there's a lot of sewing time and a lot of space in that room. But Rhonda, you finished it, and I have pictures of it. It's a fantastic jacket. And so tell us about that and how you chose it, because it came together so nicely, and it is something I'm sure you grabbed a lot also.
Well, thank you. Yes, I did finish it. I have no idea how, but I just kept my nose to the grindstone. Love the class. I echo everybody else's sentiments about the camaraderie. And I'm trying to, there we go. The camaraderie and everybody's ideas and support. I mean, it just means so much. And you don't understand it unless you're there. Like trying to explain it to friends or to your husband. Why do you want to go sew in a hotel room or something? But there's nothing like it. And I can't wait till the next one. I loved the fabrics. It was a brown cross-dyed linen and then a metallic. And I did the reverse applique technique with the metallic underneath and then the brown cross-dyed linen over the top, or a tobacco color. I just loved it. I used the Chicago pattern. My first time, not at the sewing workshop, but the first time I'd use the pattern for myself, and I made 2 at home before I got there, so I'd be very, very familiar with the pattern.
Oh, you did? Okay, good to know. So you came that prepared to make and execute your Chicago jacket.
Yes, and it helped. That helped.
Yeah. And you've mentioned briefly your favorite part, but is there anything also that you're just looking forward to next year?
I think the next one I want to make the strips, and probably in something very bright, since the other one is more a tobacco and a soft metallic underneath. I'd probably choose something coordinating that's very bright colors.
Like your orange cotton gauze that you're wearing too?
Yes, kind of like this.
So nice, right?
Yes.
Oh, I love it, Rhonda. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you.
All right. And last but not least, everyone, we have the wonderful Maggie joining us. And like I said, all these people are joining us for Santa Fe next year. This is such a treat. But let's bring on Maggie, and she's going to show us her Fracured Jacket.
I am wearing my Fracured Jacket. It is the Boro jacket. I use the London jacket pattern because it is one of my favorite sewing workshop patterns, and I have used it many times and am always happy with the results. So I really do enjoy wearing it. I did underline it with gauze, and it took me quite a while because I was pretty fussy about the kind of stitching I did, and I did put more than the gauze patches on it. So I really love it. It's one of my favorite things to wear. And I really did enjoy the workshop just as well, for probably most of the same reasons everyone else did. The collaborative spirit in that workshop was great. There were so many people who were so encouraging, not only of the jackets that everyone was making, but everybody was so generous, talking about what they were wearing and how they did it, and what changes they made, how they hacked the pattern, and the techniques they used. So the group was absolutely wonderful. I've been to Sew Kansas, and I have to say I really encounter the same attitude every time I go. So not only were the people who participated in the workshop great, but the staff was great too. The sewing workshop team is just really marvelous. If you were stuck, somebody always had a suggestion to help you move along, and it was really a great experience, and I'm looking really forward to going again next February.
Let's hear from another student in Santa Fe. Her name is Anne, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her projects. Hi, Anne. Thanks so much for joining.
Hi, Alex.
Hi. Looking fabulous in your Fracured Jacket. Tell us about it, Anne.
Okay. I wanted to make a jacket that I could wear in the summer, and it's really hot where I live. So I chose some fabric that I had in my stash. The outer fabric is a linen, medium weight, and then I had a piece of striped linen that I decided to use on the inside of the jacket. And I used the Chicago jacket pattern, and I didn't really know what I was doing or how I was going to finish it until I sewed the two layers together and started doing stitching across it and put it on and put little pins where I thought I wanted to make the cutouts. And let me back up. There's a lot cut out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's big cutouts, but a lot of it isn't cut out.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really see it all. And it was really fun to do, and I could just cut out one piece and then try it back on and see where I wanted another piece cut out if I had the little pins in the right places. And most of the time I did, but I changed my mind while I was cutting out the pieces. And it was really fun to do. And actually, a pretty fast and dirty project. There were some mistakes that don't show. It was really fun to do. If I were to make another one, which I probably will, I would try to make one that would be good for fall or winter. And there's some fabric on the website that's a wool jersey knit that I might put in the washing machine and try to felt. And the biggest problem with making this jacket is choosing the fabric, because you want the inside fabric to be the same on both sides, or at least good on both sides, because you see one side as a lining and one side as the cutout window. So I chose a solid color linen, I think it's linen cotton mixture, which I thought would look good both ways. So that's my jacket.
Love that. And what was your actual favorite part of the Fractured Jacket class?
Well, this might sound strange. It wasn't the sewing part, it was the camaraderie part. I loved being with people while I sew, because at home it's a pretty solitary project. And it was just fun to be with people and to get other people's advice and ideas on what I was doing, and to see everybody else's project. I just loved sewing with all the people.
You're so right. It's just fun to be with friends who are like-minded in our sewing pursuits.
Absolutely. And when I came home, you might want to see this. Well, I quickly changed my clothes. I was enchanted with one of the jackets there, the one that was torn into strips and then strip pieced to raw edge. So I came home and I made a vest.
Oh, look at that.
And I'm sorry that I don't have a piece of this fabric left, because it looked like a tablecloth. I think it was a tablecloth that I got at, I don't know, some fabric sale. So I tore it all up and made a vest out of it, and I love it.
How cool, Anne. That's amazing. And you use the snap tape for the closure?
I use the snap tape for the closure.
Wow, what pattern is that?
Well, it's not exactly a sewing workshop pattern, but let me see if I can do this. You can see the bottom is like
like the Liberty.
The Liberty shirt. And I put a stand-up collar on it. So I guess it's a Liberty shirt sort of pattern.
The vest. How cool. I hope you enjoyed hearing from everyone of our Santa Fe participants. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you want to sign up for Santa Fe, there are a few spots left. But as far as today's sale, we have great patterns on sale for you to consider for your Fractured Jacket project. So take a look this week on our sale to check out anything Fractured Jacket related. We have patterns on sale. We have the fabrics that each of our participants mentioned. Those are on sale. So check out our selection of Fractured Jacket fabrics this week. And that is what is on sale. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this week. We'll be with you live next week. Take care and have a good week. Signing off here from Topeka.